Hi, and welcome to What's the T in L&E. I'm Leah.
I'm Emily.
And we're management side employment attorneys with Rogers Vandeventer Black in Richmond, Virginia. Emily, what are we talking about today?
The age-old question, when do you have to pay the interns?
Hopefully always. Did you ever have any fun internships?
I don't know about fun, but memorable internships, yes. What about you?
I did. My best one was I worked for a weatherization company in DC, and we crawled around in people's crawl spaces and tried to weatherize their windows and make their homes more energy efficient. Really exciting work.
Really added to your legal education.
Yes, and it was unpaid at the time, which may have been okay, but in 2018, we got new guidelines for employers as to whether or not they can make their internships unpaid or paid. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, and to put a caveat out there, these internship guidelines hit differently for private employers versus nonprofit employers versus government employers, so it's very fact specific. But the general guidelines that the DOL gives, they start with examining who's the primary beneficiary of the internship, and particularly if the intern's unpaid, it's got to be the intern, it's got to be the student. You have to be able to show they're getting the value. So what's the first factor, Leah?
Yeah, you're going to first look at whether or not there's a promise of compensation to this intern, not employee, and making it very clear to them that they will not be paid for this work. And that would require written documentation and a written agreement with the intern.
Absolutely. Yeah, and you want to make sure that the experience they're getting mimics the hands-on experience they would get in an educational institution.
Yeah, get to know their course of study and their educational environment. Work with their faculty advisor, especially if they're going to be getting course credit. You want to make sure that the program you're providing them is going to meet the course credit requirements that they will need. And a lot of that might even entail offering a lot of shadowing opportunities.
Absolutely. And you also want to make sure that the interns schedule, that you accommodate their academic schedule with their internship schedule. So, and that ties right into the next factor, which is limiting the duration of the internship. It can't go on indefinitely, particularly if it's unpaid. You've got to have a defined time limit and then stick to it.
And probably your most important factor is to consider whether or not the duties that this intern is going to be carrying out complement the work of paid employees or displace the work of paid employees, because you don't want to be seen as trying to abuse the wage and hour laws by using unpaid interns for work that otherwise would be carried out by paid employees.
Absolutely. And finally, you need to be very clear that there's no expectation of a paid position at the conclusion of the unpaid internship, and that goes back to having good documentation. So you want to have internship offer letters, written internship program guidelines, so that it's all your ducks are in a row.
Yeah, make sure that you've considered workers' comp issues as well as unemployment insurance issues. We don't want you to get in trouble there. And if you hire interns under the age of 16 or even older, sometimes in some states under the age of 18, there's a whole nother ballgame that you need to consider. So with that, we hope that your summers are a lot of fun and that you offer some great internships, but feel free to reach out with any questions.